All right, guys, what's going on here? It's Eric. We're gonna go ahead and review some of these trades here today that I took, and we'll actually talk about some of the other alerts as well too. Even though I took some good trades in pre-market, I didn't do anything during trading hours. Pretty much was kind of busy running around, but also didn't really see any trades that I liked. But there were definitely some good ones on the alerts that I missed too, like PROG. AD was pretty good. There's still a lot of other good trades out there to be made. So hopefully you guys got to kind of see the little real-time video I put of like, the alerts going off and executing the trades and following the charts. Going forward, we're going to kind of get into a little bit more of those videos and having those available for you guys, and kind of like part of a live stream. So that would be easier for you guys that are in the chat room and in the alerts to be able to kind of see that stuff too. Um, I mean, you still got to do your legwork. You still got to, know your charts, know your patterns, and all that good stuff. It's part of the game. But anyways, today, a little over 3 grand. Happy with where I was at, even though I missed a few other alerts. I'm okay with it. But let's go ahead and get into review these trades. Obviously, my first trade this morning was PTGX. Um, pretty good alert. So let's just kind of get into it. So obviously, it wasn't the first alert that went off today. TRVI went off. BBT, you know, BTBT did pretty good today. I didn't get in that one. I know some of you guys did, and some of you guys missed the boat, but that one was a good one to watch. CI was pretty decent, but pretty much, I kind of skipped over the TRVI alerts because it really wasn't doing anything that I wanted. I didn't see nothing in level two. It was kind of light volume, and this was like the very beginning of pre-market. So let's kind of take a look at that one real quick. So I didn't take this trade. And this is why I tell you guys, you don't want to jump on every single trade. You know, you want to make sure you're playing your setup. It's very important. So this is pretty much what it did out the gate. Nothing special. I mean, yeah, it spiked up, but then it came right back down, which is why I tell you guys to do what? Always wait for at least one session of the moving average convergence divergence to roll over twice. Boom, boom. So yeah, obviously you see that's not worth looking at. And of course, pretty much just started dying down after that. Really wasn't no action going on there. And then you can tell easily by looking at level two, were there orders coming in? No. I seen that this morning. I'm like, there's no orders coming in there. This thing is just a dud. It's just a pre-market dud. Easy to spot. So I just sit there and wait for the next alert. And then pretty much what happens, FLXN. Now the crazy thing about FLXN, excuse me, is that it was halted in pre-market, pending news. Crazy. So I knew this one was kind of a heads up, going to be a runner when it opened back up. And let's take a look at it here. Now this was my second trade because it didn't open back up until after I was done with PGTX. Okay, but anyways, it spiked up, pulled back down, and then at this point it was halted. Right when it was about to roll over again, it was halted pre-market, pending news. Now while that was halted, pretty much PTGX had news that came out as well too. It was kind of tough because both of these alerts came in right around the same time. So PTGX came out with news, announced blah blah blah. So I'm sitting there, I'm digesting that news, looking at it, pulled it up, knowing in the back of my mind that hey, FLXN is still, you know, still frozen, still halted. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now the crazy thing with PTGX is it's kind of an expensive stock. Let me pull this down here. But that news that hit it caused it to spike up. Pretty good. Now, let me pull this up here. So this is pretty much what we were looking at with PTGX. That was pretty much the alert, and then more alerts, obviously, with volume and momentum coming in, was pretty much the next thing that came up. One thing that you guys should notice as well too, because I didn't really stay in this stock for too long. Um, I got in at a decent amount. I think I got in like $31, which was pretty good. It was like right after this alert. The reason why I got in so quickly, and this, obviously if I got in pretty quick, you know what strategy I plan on using because it hasn't even rolled over yet. If you don't know my strategy of doing that by now, then don't worry about it. Come up with your own. But anyways, my strategy of getting in and getting out quickly. The reason why I got in is because I seen when the alert went off, the news came out, it was still more buy orders coming in. So at that point, knowing where I'm at, knowing that it's overextended, it was okay for me to get in because as it was lighting up, I seen in level two that more orders were coming in. So I stayed in a little bit longer. Um, I took about 500 shares of this. I didn't get out to like 37, which was kind of almost at the peak, which was like right here when I got out because I seen it starting to come down here in the moving average convergence divergence, which means eventually this thing is going to have to start to pull back and show some support. I didn't want to stay in that long and wait for the support because there was no telling how long it was going to come back down. And plus, I wasn't sure how the market would react to this kind of news, to be honest with you. It seems like it's good news, but also at the same time, it seemed like it could be a dud, Today, the FDA announced the removal of clinical hold, blah, blah, blah. Studies announced September 16, blah, blah, blah. Refutable may be resumed. So basically, they're just resuming operations. That's pretty much what they said. Me personally, I don't, I'm not too familiar with, you know, FDA and all these, medical stuff. I don't care. It's none of my business. What I'm worried about is how is the market going to react to this, and I can tell that by looking at level two and understanding how this chart is going to play out by knowing chart patterns. And this thing just kind of flattened out the rest of the day. So obviously at this point, technical analysis is telling me, hey, this thing is going to start lighting up, pulling back on the moving average convergence divergence. So I know it's going to be coming down. So I'm going to go ahead and just take my profit. I'm okay with sitting this one out. If it starts to run again, I'll jump back in. But it really didn't. It stayed up there and just stayed there. So this one was a pretty good execution for me. But again, my ideal strategy in this was to get in and get out. So Eric, what was your risk tolerance? What was your risk to reward tolerance? Well, for me, if it was going to break 27, I was going to just get out and take that hit, move on. But I never did, which is pretty cool. Um, so even if I did hold a little longer, I would have still probably left out with some type of profit, just kind of waiting on that to happen. But you know, that's about it. And it just kind of stayed relatively flat within the range throughout the rest of the day. Not too much of fluctuation. Just kind of looking at that alert. So that was pretty much it. Obviously, you guys know I don't like to hold things during the bell, so I got in and got out. Pre-market, it had great value. And that's one thing you guys got to remember. In pre-market, if you're trading pre-market, you want to see stocks that are trading in volume. It doesn't matter if a stock is high of the day because of a high it's up highly because of percentage. Like a lot of you guys get mixed up. Because I know a lot of you try to use like that, I guess the Webull, like top gainers list, or you're looking at maybe the stock market watch top gainers list and stuff like that. Okay, let's say if a stock is up 1,000%, but it's only traded three shares, what are you going to do with that? Nothing. Your money's just be sitting there because no trades are getting executed. There's no volume there. You guys, you got to have volume in order to execute your trades, especially during pre-market, because you got to remember there's not many other traders in the market at that time. So your orders are harder to execute. Don't get caught up in that trap thinking that you can just input the order and it's going to get filled immediately. Sometimes it won't get filled. Sometimes it might partially get filled. So you got to keep that in mind, and that's why your risk to reward, management is very important. So I did. Yeah, this was kind of a big trade. It was 500 shares I did, but I was looking at the level two orders, and there was orders by the hundreds coming in, so it was perfectly fine for me to execute that. I wasn't too worried. But I'm not going to look at other stocks like if you've seen in the recording that I posted, there wasn't really any other um, volume coming on some of the other alerts. For example, like KRBP didn't really have much. It shot up and shot back down. Same thing for TCON. So it just didn't fit my criteria for me to try to trade. Maybe if I was a short seller and I wanted to go against that stock, I would have taken it. But you guys know me, I'm a bullish trader. So it doesn't fit me, my trading criteria, but it might fit someone else. So just understand you got to know what you're trading and why you're trading it. So that's important too. But and I kind of I touched on pulling those up as soon as those alerts came in, you know, through the alert channel to look it up. And it looked okay starting out, but then a few minutes later, there's no volume coming in. It's not important. The market's not really caring about it. Now, if I would have seen like another alert, another alert, another alert, another alert of the same stock coming in, I might want to take a look at it because I know why. Volume is coming in, momentum is coming in. I can easily get in and get out, or a setup might come. Okay, you guys got to understand that is what we're trading. You get in, you get out, call it a day. Okay, so that was PTGX. Didn't stay in it too long. Got in and got out. When I finally got out of it, guess what happened? FLXN resumed. Let's take a look at this bad boy again. Okay, give me just a moment here, guys. All right, so let me pull that back up here. Sorry, my Alexa speaker went off. All right, so we pulled this back up here. FLXN resumed right here. Pretty cool, right? It resumed, and I got in at like 9. I think it was like 9:50. I had got in, like right here. I didn't stay in too long because it was really pushing it. I think I got out like 10 something, um, which was like right here. I didn't stay too long. I was I was wanting to because of the fact that with it being pulled down and kind of still light in the relative strength index, and it was holding its own right in this area. I was feeling confident with it, but then I got out like right around this area because it didn't want to crack. I mean, this is even showing you that, hey, it's not even going to crack. So I figured, hey, it's just going to be pulled back. And obviously the market was green from Friday, not too green, but green from Friday. But I figured a red move was coming again. It's still early October. You got to understand the cycles of the market, guys. That's important too. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. Since I was up, a few cents, I was like, okay, I'll take that. And, get my little 12%. Because I got in at like $9.10, which was like right after the open. So I grabbed it, got out, not too shabby of a move. The rest of the day, it just kind of stayed relatively flat. Today was a very, very slow day for Monday. I don't know if it's because it's the holiday or, you know, the Christopher Columbus, Indigenous people, whatever you want to call it day. I don't know. Today was just really, really, really slow for some reason. It made no sense. Um, there were some other good alerts coming through. NAOV jumped up a little bit. Hopefully, you guys capitalize on that. HIMS, I thought that was going to be a pretty decent move, but it didn't really do what I thought it would do. And you got to remember, guys, all these stocks are fighting against the market today. So it's understandable that there wasn't much of a move. So HIMS, kind of choppy, didn't really have much of anything. So I kind of, there was no point in me getting that. When that alert went off, I was expecting boom, volume to come in. It never did. The moment an alert comes through, guys, this is what I'm doing. An alert comes through. I'm looking to see what the news is, if there's any. Sometimes it is news, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just a volume spike. Stocks can run for just momentum alone. There doesn't have to always be a catalyst like that. So it could be a number of things. Sometimes it's anticipation of something, whatever. But anyways, it's running, it's being alerted for some reason. There's price action going there for some reason. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for that news. If there's no news, that's fine. I'm going to pull up the chart. I'm going to look at the stock. First thing I'm checking is the volume. I'm looking at stats. You guys seen in my Webull platform that I showed you that the stats that I have there that I'm looking at. So there's those stats that I'm looking at. I'm measuring those to see if it's going to be worth me to jump in the trade or not. Then I'm looking at price action. Is there more things in level? Is there more orders in level 2 coming through it? Or is it not? Is it a big spread? Is it not? What's there? Is it going to fit my criteria? So I'm looking at all that, trying to consider all that when I'm trading. If it is meeting my little checklist, then okay, great. I get in the trade, and I'm of course at the same time I'm measuring my risk to reward, looking at key levels of where I need to have a stop loss and where I need to have, a profit take. And if I'm in the green and it's running the way I'm wanting it to run, I either scale in, scale out, or let the stock continue to run. Then you repeat this process over and over and over and over and over again, guys, until you get bored. Okay? That's what you're doing every single day as a trader. All right? It's really not that hard. Now, this one right here, man, PROG, yeah, this one, if you guys, held this long enough, man, congrats to you and your diamond hands. This one was just like a considerably, you know, continuously pushed stock. So it's pushing up, excuse me, off the weekly watch list. I believe it was on there. I can't remember. But anyways, it just kept going and kept going and kept going throughout the day, touching new highs, touching new highs. And in this one here, you can see, there's simple patterns. If you would have missed like this run up and the pullback here and you're still looking at it and you still have it on your radar and you're seeing here that it's flatlining, flatlining, flatlining. And then at this run up, it's breaking the new high. At this point, guys, you might want to get in because it's broken a new high, especially in the middle of the day, which is good. And then, or if you see that it breaks new high, it brings your attention again, and you see the pullback here, and the pullback is holding a new level of support, might be a good time to try to get in, especially when it pulls back again. So you'll have numerous opportunities. You just got to make sure you're watching it at the right time and watching the right set of indicators and sticking through your plan. So let's say, for example, if you did get in, let's say if you happen to get in the lower end, or even let's say if you got in like a higher end, let's say if you got in like 187, and you said your stop loss is going to be like 150, stick to your plan. Because if you stick to your plan, guess what? Let the stock drag out. Sometimes it has to do that, and then it's going to eventually crack. It's either going to crack up or it's going to crack down, one way or the other. The odds are mostly in your favor here because you got look at your candles. They're showing you that most of this is going to be bullish. If you're looking at level two, depending on the amount of volume there, that might have shown you the same thing of how traders were feeling about the stock. Um, did it have good news? Eh, had decent news, but I mean, it's been on the watch list. So that's just something to kind of consider. And then, after it broke there, you could let it run. I know a few of you guys said you were holding this thing until after hours, so congrats on that. This might even be a decent swing trade. I don't know. It's up to you. But yeah, this one was good a good play here too. I think OCUL has some good news, but let me pull this up here. I don't know why TradingView's been doing this lately. It's been like superly zooming in. It's very annoying. But anyways, when was OCUL alerted? That one was a good slow burner too. Right here. Was that the first alert? No, it was up here. Man, had ample time to get in this one, guys. Sorry, my voice sounded a little funny. OCUL gets FDA approval for Dexterzina, whatever it's called. 6:59, 7 o'clock. So pretty much way over here. Right there. So easy run up. Could have got in. Held that bad boy. Again, wait for it to roll over twice. It rolled over here. Still showed good level of support. Perfect. All right, I'll try to get in. I'll set my risk to reward accordingly. Maybe I'll set it for like 1050. All right. But I'm in it like, let's say I'm in at 1080. I'm in it at, 1090, whatever. But my risk to reward is going to be 1050. If you hold a stock, let it play through, don't get greedy, you can get out at 1150. That's an easy $100 right there. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to break this down to you guys. Anyways, that's just another one of the alerts that went through that was pretty good. But yeah, obviously, you don't want to trade every alert. Some of this stuff is just news for you to kind of grasp because sometimes there's sympathy plays, especially with things like, Bitcoin going to a new high. Stocks like Riot, Mara, BTBT might run, things like that you want to consider, guys. Okay. So even though it was a light day, we still had the ability to make money. Um, Even if you couldn't find a trade that was fit for you, guess what? You got the learning lounge. I mean, you got the video library. You got so many other things you could be looking at. Okay. Get some tips from other traders in the chat room. You got a bunch of stuff you can be doing than just, sitting around. Yeah, it's fun to kind of watch it, but, here to make money. So let's do it. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for you that I got for today. Just wanted to recap my thought process on that, how that worked out. Continue to practice, continue to get better. Definitely hit me up if you have any questions. For you guys that are in the classroom, we got some stuff we're going to go over with the indicators, so stay tuned. I'm going to post that video in a second. And yeah, other than that, guys, stay green.